And a howdy. Welcome back
Hello.
to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. Welcome back to Sci-Fi Sundays, of course. Matt, Sarah, how are you?
We're doing great. We are doing great. Yeah.
I'm not Matt. I'm still not
Multiple
sausage.
personalities are, today. Anyway.
Excuse me. How are the Lady Queen and sausage / not sausage today?
Good.
Okay.
Yep. No. We're a little slow today because the cats aren't going for the stash, but Stitch is, and we're just taking a second to put Stitch and old Dorothy on a thumbnail, or Lilo on a thumbnail. You'll see what I mean in a minute here. We have a fun couple things to talk about today. Obviously, we'll get to some Lilo and Stitch, but we have Monsieur Sausage here, or excuse me, Monsieur Non-Sausage, to discuss Doctor Who actually doing some interesting things again. Yeah? Take us off, brother. What are we feeling?
Doctor Who has been the most Doctor Who since, I don't know, like Peter Capaldi.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You all know from previous discussions we've had on SciTrek that I didn't really like Jodie Whittaker's version, and Ncuti Gatwa's first season I wasn't a massive fan of either. But this season, it's good. It's really good. I don't know what changed, because they're still doing the whole like fantasy side. It is still sci-fi, but they're still going down the fantasy route a little bit with like the gods and stuff. But it's good. It's good shit.
I will watch it.
Do you think it's gonna be? Mark's like, I've been trying to tell y'all.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be enough to make reinvigorate Ncuti Gatwa to stay, maybe, or do you think that's just out of the cards already?
I think he's already left.
I
don't know. I don't have any like sources for
just thought process
for anything like that. I read stuff every now and then, but I don't know. Can you shut my door, Holly? Hang on.
Well, it's kind of a good thing to hear that Who's kind of at least back a little bit, and David Tennant is coming back.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think Ncuti's already left. There are rumors that he's been sacked. If it's anything to do with why he didn't do Eurovision, it probably is the fact that he doesn't support Israel. Because they got put into Eurovision, and because obviously they invaded because of the Palestine thing, he pulled out. So if it's anything to do with that, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not getting into politics. I don't give a shit. So I don't think he's coming back. But I keep hearing rumors like there's this one article going around, and I really hope it's not true. Billie Piper is set to be the next Doctor. Billie Piper played Rose, and I'm like, no.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, how would you even? No, that wouldn't make sense.
It doesn't. I mean, the Doctor has taken on faces that have that he's met in the past, like Peter Capaldi. That face he met in Fires of Pompeii back in season 2 or 3 with David Tennant.
This Billie Piper?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's already been like a doctor's assistant or something?
She was a companion when New Who came back in 2005.
Okay. She's probably on a Magic the Gathering card I've seen then, for the extent of my Doctor Who knowledge.
Yeah, I hope it's not her. But this actual season's getting really good. There's been an ongoing mystery with a certain character called Mrs. Flood. And who is she? Basically, she was in the first season with Shooty. We didn't know who she was, but she was in quite a few episodes, and she was always like breaking the fourth wall, like talking to the audience. Like it's got very meta. Like they know it's a TV show, and they're in a TV show. It's really weird, but it was really good the way they did it.
Really?
Anyway, it got revealed that she is. By the way, if you haven't seen Doctor Who and you want to know what happens by watching it, click off now because I'm going to spoil some stuff.
All right, we'll go ahead and put little spoilers up.
That's your warning. But if you haven't seen Wish World that aired yesterday, I would click off because I'm going to talk about it.
The movie yesterday. Kidding. Sorry. Just
I haven't seen it, but I'm fine. Yeah.
I'll forget it next year.
Yeah.
So last week's episode was actually where the reveal was who Mrs. Flood was. She is the Rani, which is a renegade Time Lord who... She's from the classic series, so I don't know too much about her. I think she was only in like 2 or 3 episodes in the classic series, but she's like one that does like science experiments and stuff, and she's evil, but not in the same vein as like the Master. Like the Master just wants death. She kind of just wants control.
Like Asgard, like science almost.
Yeah, I'd probably put her more like Loki if it was like a god.
Okay.
I was thinking nerdy, like that.
Nerdy, yeah. Would yeah. So essentially, there's now 3. What do they call themselves?
Dallas.
I don't know. 3. The trio of something. I can't remember. It's gone from my head. The trio of something. Where you got this guy called Conrad, who met the Doctor when he was really young, and then became like some fucking like Andrew Tate kind of figure. You've got the Rani, 2 versions of, because Mrs. Flood bi-generated into the other Rani. So there's 2 Ranis. And then the third is what I assume is going to be happening next week, which was revealed this week. They're trying to bring back Omega. And Omega is a classic villain. It's another Time Lord. It's the guy that created time travel. And he was... I don't know why he became evil. I don't know what the backstory is there. I'm gonna actually have to do like a deep dive on him, I think, just to understand him a bit better. But he was essentially banished from the universe, so he doesn't exist, and he's in like the underverse, and they're going to try and bring him back. And I think the ultimate goal is to try and bring back Gallifrey, because Gallifrey was destroyed for like the 3rd time. Gallifrey was destroyed in Jodie Whittaker's run. The Master used the Cybermen to turn all the Time Lords into Cyber Lords, they called them, and then destroyed all of Gallifrey. So they're all gone again. But yeah, Gallifrey is probably going to return, and so will some of the Time Lords. Mike saying, spoiler alert, Shooty cries again. This is the thing that annoyed me in the first season. And to be honest, in the beginning of this season, it was really annoying me as well. He cries at in every episode, every single episode. He hasn't done it as much this season, and the only episode I think he did it that I thought that's actually warranted was The Well. But yeah, that's the only gripe I've really got with Shooty's Doctor. He just cries, and it's always from one eye, one single tear, and every time he does it, I'm screaming at my TV, going, "Stop fucking crying!"
Just that one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's people in the comments who know more. Oh, the Mark Lirani 1985, Time and Lirani 1987, and Dimensions in Time 1993, but we tried to ignore Dimensions in Time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, as I say, there's probably people in the comments who know more about the Rani and Omega than I do because they're from the classic series, and I've not watched too much of the classic series to know.
Would I guess the way you're describing Omega, does he? I mean, obviously, I'm just trying to correlate to Stargate because that's just where my brain goes for a lot of things. But does he almost play a similar role in how he exists as Anubis does in a way, like almost like
as far as
ancient kind of.
So now he exists in the Underverse now, but when he existed in the classic series. From what I understand, he didn't even have a body. He was more like Anubis in the fact that he was like a corporeal form. Just the thing you saw was encasing him, I guess.
He's just
which I don't get because he is a Time Lord, so I don't know how that happened. I think because I have looked into some of the history of the Time Lords. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with the Untempered Schism. And he like looked into it or sacrificed himself into it, and that's how time travel was created. But I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, because we have Mike and Mark kind of giving us a little more.
And maybe I was betrayed by the Time Lords and banned and kicked out into space with no body, etc. Right.
And Mark is adding to it in creating time travel for the Time Lords. Omega got himself stranded in the antimatter universe.
Yeah, that's what I've read. Something to do with in the creation of time travel, he was lost.
Okay, well,
something like that.
If this is true too, after existing in the antimatter universe, so long as his body is deteriorated and nothing, and he existed by his will alone, that almost sounds like frickin' Anubis and Darth Vader put together with the will aspect of just like literally willing yourself to continue to living.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely looking like the Rani is bringing him back in order to bring back Gallifrey, which to me is exciting because if they're at the top, I guess, of bringing back Gallifrey, it means the Time Lords are going to be more of a villain again, rather than just they've not really been a villain in New Who. Apart from, I guess, was it the End of Time? Something like that. They weren't really a villain then either.
Yeah.
But because the Doctor's a rogue Time Lord in himself, they've always been kind of an antagonist kind of thing.
Right.
Is it the fact that they're antagonists, or is it more like, is there some kind of like bureaucratic aspect to the Time Lords that they have to adhere to that ends up being that?
Oh yeah. There's a whole storyline with the Fifth Doctor, where he's basically on trial. I think it's the Fifth Doctor. He's basically on trial because he left, stole a TARDIS, and went rogue, and they exiled him to Earth. So there's a whole season, at least, where he's just on Earth with no TARDIS, I think. And he just has these. I don't know. I've not seen it. I don't know for sure. But as far as I know, that exists. I'm pretty sure it's the Fifth Doctor. Someone will correct me, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, Mark just added in here.
And.
What's up?
In the last episode, so you've just reminded me, Mark. So in the first ever episode of Doctor Who, it started with William Hartnell, and then Carol Ann Ford playing his granddaughter Susan, and then they had two teachers who ended up being the companions. She ended up leaving at the end of season 1 or season 2. This is back in 1963.
Okay, so way back
when. Way back in the classic series, she ended up leaving. She got left in 22nd century, I want to say, because she met a guy, fell in love, and she just got left. The Doctor said, "I'll be back," never came back for
Uh-oh.
She did return in last week's episode, but as a vision. Caroline Ford actually reprised her role. She was actually there. And I'm really hoping she's actually there physically next week in the finale. But literally, right. So I've hurt my back. This is why I'm in bed, and why I've been off work for a couple of weeks. But when I watched that episode last week, as soon as I saw Susan, I was jumping in my chair. And then my message was like, "You shouldn't be doing that." I was like, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine." Oh no, I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have.
Jump. You're just whoo.
2159. Yeah, so I think that's 20. That would work out to be 22nd or 23rd century.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Rogue showed up too. Is that important?
Yeah, Rogue is a. There was an episode in the first season with Shutigatwa where he fell in love with this guy, but then the guy had to. He died. He didn't die. He basically got sucked into hell.
Oh, damn!
Nice.
He's in the hell dimension, basically.
Is that the same as the underworld thing, or different? They're underverse.
No, this is different. It's outside of the universe, but he can never come back. But yeah, he did manage to communicate with the Doctor through the TV. I don't think he's important really. He's just a character from the last season, and it kind of just tied in a little bit. So.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay, so Margaret also said second Doctor was the one tried as a result of the trial. The third Doctor was the one exiled on Earth. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Channel 57 in the UK showing all the classic Doctor Who's. Hell yeah. It was actually nice.
I don't have a TV. I have a TV. I don't have terrestrial TV or digital TV. I don't have anything like that. I just have streaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the way to do it sometimes. Yeah. Mike was.
There are other ways of getting it, obviously.
Yeah,
that's true. He said Omega was a pioneer who undertook dangerous work to advance his people, but he was ultimately betrayed by Rassilon, who later became their leader after being exiled to the antimatter universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. So Rassilon has returned in New Who twice. I want to say first he was played by Timothy Dalton.
No shit, really?
Yeah, and the second time was in like Peter Capaldi's era. And I don't think he died, but he was basically Lord President of Gallifrey, and then Peter Capaldi become Lord President of Gallifrey.
I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember.
I know I've watched the episodes, but I don't remember.
Yeah, something happened, and the rest of the Time Lords basically just said, "Get off his planet" or something. And anyway, he became the Doctor became the president of Gallifrey.
Oh, I did not realize that element of Doctor Who. That's kind of wild.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter because not long after that, Gallifrey was destroyed again. So. It is quite funny. So obviously when Doctor Who came back in 2005, Russell T Davies was at the helm. And he had basically destroyed Gallifrey with the Time War. With the whole I'm the last of the Time Lords, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. In that scenario, Gallifrey was gone, destroyed as a result of the Time War. Years passed, and then they brought it back, and obviously subsequently it's now destroyed again. The thing that's funny is he destroyed Gallifrey originally, and now he's back. He could be the one to bring it back because he's not going to be showrunner next season, as far as I know.
Right. Yeah, I don't think so.
Because Disney don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's a shame if he's actually getting better. But I guess if it's a season and a half or 2 seasons worth of a lot of stuff people don't like, it's understandable nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, the first season. So When I say season 1 and 2, I'm talking now about this version, like Disney Who, I guess.
Yeah.
It's actually like season 8, 9.
973.
There's so many ways you could say it, because if you're talking about the actual amount of seasons there are, if you go from 1963, there's like 50. I don't know. There's loads. There's so many. But then you got New Who, and I'm pretty sure this would actually work out to be season 9 or 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that. But they actually call it season 1 and 2 because it's from Disney.
Okay, because the New Who starts in the Christopher Eccleston era, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. I know all the actors, or a good chunk of the actors, and I know very little about the show.
It's worth a watch. But I would you could just watch the new stuff. You don't have to go back unless you really want to. But
you know my crazy self.
Oh, I know.
Let me just catch up with the chat.
That's fine.
See what's going on.
Mark has a question for somebody who does not watch Doctor Who, and I kind of also have this question: can all the Time Lords change faces? I don't get how David Tennant came back still. Kind of, I guess I don't.
Yeah. So,
but
I was talking about this with someone in a Doctor Who group on Facebook earlier. As far as I know, Time Lord is a rank, not a species. Gallifreyan is the rank, is the species, and they're given the ability to regenerate. But with Jodie Whittaker's era, they revealed that she's the timeless child, and they get their regenerative powers from her.
So she's not the same as the other doctors.
She's not. So basically, the Doctor isn't actually a Time Lord. It's what Time Lords are based on. But to answer your actual question, can all Time Lords change their face? Yes, up to a maximum of 11 times. So you get 12 incarnations.
I think that's right.
No, 13?
I was going to say 13, but I don't know for sure. But like somewhere like that, 12, 13.
Yeah, it's 12 or 13.
Right.
She's the 13th Doctor. I know that from from Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
So does that make
technically speaking, if you're going from the story, the actual story now, it's all been revealed. There was a Doctor before William Hartnell called the Fugitive Doctor. There was like at least 8 Doctors before that when Texan was doing the experiments to even get regenerative powers to give to Time Lords.
Right.
So, I mean, the Doctor's probably like on his like 100th regeneration and just doesn't know because his mind was erased.
Okay. And that happens like every 12 or 13 or 14, somewhere like that?
No, the mind erasing thing happened because Texan erased his memories.
Okay.
I erased her memories because the Fugitive Doctor was what's her name? Oh, come on! Someone in the comments help me out. What was the Fugitive Doctor's name? The actress.
It's the lady with the braids, right? Is that the right one?
Black lady.
And then William Hurt was the War Doctor, right?
John Hurt, yeah.
John Hurt. I was like, I did not say
Joe
that.
Martin. Right? Joe Martin. Her name's Joe Martin. I actually forgot where I was going with that.
Regenerating faces and then regenerating the 12th, 13th, or 14th time.
Right. Just the Doctors regenerated a lot more than that, I think.
Yeah, you said it was almost like the 100.
Yeah, the Doctor has regenerated a lot more than that. Oh no, what I was going to say was from Joe Martin's point of view, she's the Fugitive Doctor who worked for the Time Lords as like some like agent, and then her mind was erased, forced to regenerate, and then became William Hartnell, who then became kickstarted Doctor Who back in 1963.
Okay.
Yes.
But all Time Lords,
Whiny.
all Time Lords can regenerate. They can regenerate into seemingly any form. Like they're not bound by any gender.
Mm-hmm.
As far as we know, they're not bound by any, we've never seen a Time Lord regenerate into another race. Like we've never seen one turn into like a Sycorax or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they always seem to be like human-like.
Gallifreyan, yeah, kind of, yeah.
But they're not bound to like any gender. Like they can go from male to female, female to male, whatever.
Okay.
And it's always as a result of like death, or instead of death. It's never. You can't just do it because you want to. Like it can be forced, but you can't just regenerate because you fancy a change. Like it's a process instead of death.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's actually kind of cool. That definitely leans into the fantasy, maybe not necessarily the fun, but I do like it. I do like it.
Mix.
I'm also confused, but in a fun way.
I'm just trying to rack my brain. It's been, several years since I've watched it, so I'm like, yeah,
there's another Time Lord from the classic series that still hasn't come back, called the Meddling Monk. Secular Monk's name just reminded me. And that's the only one I think, other than Omega, that we've never seen come back, other than like Susan. The discussion I was having on Facebook earlier was, why can't Susan just regenerate? And as far as I knew, she's a Gallifreyan, not a Time Lord. That's why I mentioned Time Lord is a rank and not a not a species. So you go to the academy, because they talk about the academy quite a bit, and then once they become a Time Lord, they're given the ability to regenerate. Now, the Doctor obviously already had this ability, but probably didn't know when they went to the academy. But as far as I know, Susan never went to the academy. But being the Doctor's granddaughter biologically, might have had that ability passed down to her anyway. So we don't know. It's not in. It's never been shown or even discussed anywhere. It's just like a theory.
That's kind of fun. Meddling Monk, you say, as I poke holes in things. He did have another good comment here. That's just, I think, an interesting thought process. There has to be some rules behind it, though, and there seem to be no rules.
There are rules, yeah. So there's a limit to how many times you can regenerate. So they when they were developing regeneration, which is they basically just stole it from the Doctor. They put a limit of 12 regenerations, so it is 13 incarnations.
Okay.
And after that, you just die. There are ways around it. They can grant you more regenerations, which they have done. They did it for the Master. They did it for the Doctor before the whole Timeless Child thing.
Right.
But with the Doctor being the Timeless Child, it seems like they just don't have a limit. Unless they impose one, who knows?
Right.
So that's the rules of regeneration.
Talking about Timeless Child, Mark said the seventh Timeless Child grows up to be the first other. We then know of at least 8 more incarnations of the other after that.
It's not confusing at all.
Okay, Monk.
There's loads of Doctors. They did. Russell T Davies made things even more confusing with the 60th anniversary when the Doctor biogenerated. So David Tennant biogenerated into Ncuti Gatwa. So there was David Tennant and Ncuti at the same time. He also said every other Doctor biogenerated at the exact same time, which means if you take that literally, that there's just like an infinite amount of Doctors roaming around the universe. And it doesn't make much sense to me. Because that would mean William Hartnell biogenerated into Sylvester. No, not Sylvester McCoy. Who was the second one? Pertwee? Is it Pertwee? I don't know who the second Doctor is. I'm a terrible Doctor Who fan.
John Pertwee?
Yeah, I think it was John Pertwee. I think that was the second. I'm not sure.
He was a doctor.
But then,
you're right. Yeah.
And then the next one, we bi-generated into the next one, keeping the old one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't understand it. It might have just been a throwaway comment, and it doesn't mean anything, but it definitely confused things. Patrick Troughton. His name was Patrick Troughton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the second Doctor.
Looked up, Sean Pertwee is a Doctor Who character, and that's just
John Pertwee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is he the fifth? Third. He's third. Fifth is Tom Baker, isn't it?
I think Tom Baker's fourth. I only know that from Magic the Gathering cards again.
Is his daughter the one that's married to David Tennant?
No, that's Paul Davidson.
Oh,
Peter
okay.
Davidson.
Oh, okay.
Paul Davidson, Peter Davidson.
Oh, that's the later guy. Yeah, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Patrick Troughton was number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oliver said the number 1 rule is there are no rules.
Yeah.
Also, Oliver.
I think they've been a little fast and loose with a lot of things.
Oliver sent us a proof of concept yesterday.
I think over the years, there's been a lot of rules imposed with Doctor Who, which they've just broken, which they do. They do it with any show. I mean, they did it with Stargate as well. So,
yeah.
but Doctor Who's been going for 60 years, so there's bound to be.
Yeah. In the earlier days, like they didn't care so much about keeping, everything being right and kept in whatever, that's people care about a lot more about that now than back then.
Yeah. Oh, my watch has just died. I wondered why it vibrated at me. Let's put it on charge.
So is John Pertwee Sean Pertwee's dad?
I don't know who Sean Pertwee is. Well, you kept saying Sean. You kept saying Sean, and I said John. I thought you just misheard me.
No. Sean Pertwee is. Did you ever watch Gotham?
No.
Oh, he was the guy that played Alfred in Gotham, and I guess he's dressed up as the John Pertwee. I guess just jokingly or something like that because they don't look dissimilar.
They're very similar, yeah.
There we go. Oh, Julia said yes. Interesting.
Cool.
But yeah, David. So the 6th or 7th Doctor, Peter Paul something Davidson. I can't think of his name.
There we go.
Peter Davidson. His actual real life daughter is married to David Tennant, and she played the Doctor's daughter in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
She was David Tennant's version of the Doctor's daughter. And they ended up getting married in real life.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
How is Sylvester McCoy's Doctor Who? I don't ever hear anybody talking about his. But all I know is he's my Radagast Brown.
Yeah, I was going to say he was in Lord of the Rings.
He was.
Yeah.
He was the 8th Doctor. 7th Doctor. He was the 7th Doctor. 8th Doctor was Paul McGann, who was only the Doctor for the movie.
Yeah, that movie. I've seen that movie.
Mm.
Yeah, so he was kind of like the last Doctor of the classics TV series, right? And then there was that movie, and then and
then you've got the War Doctor in between Paul McGann and Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, that was John Hurt, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see John Hurt stuff. I love John Hurt as an actor. Rip, just so good. Do you all agree with Peter here? They missed a trick not doing a spinoff show for the Doctor's daughter.
I agree. I really hope she comes back at some point. Because her name was Jenny in the show. I can't think of her real name. Georgia. Her name's Georgia. It was Georgia. It's Georgia Tennant now. Obviously, they're married, but it was Georgia
Davidson. No, she went by a different name.
It might be George David. Was it?
Unless she went with like a different name because she wanted to be like
an actress or something like that.
Not connected to her dad, you know.
Maybe. I can't remember. I remember I used to fancy her. I remember that.
And then David Tennant's got her off the market. Oh no.
Tennant.
Because they're about to do another spin-off show, right?
Of Doctor Who?
Oh, her name was Georgia Moffat. Georgia Moffat.
Okay. Wonder if that was her mom's name or something.
Maybe, yeah.
She related to Stephen Moffat.
Oh, it was her stepfather's name. They are doing a spin-off show. It's called Land and Sea. It's something to do with the it's to do with UNIT.
Okay.
That's coming soon. I can't wait for that. Because I really like UNIT.
Because it seems like they do the spin-off shows really well. Because everyone loves Torchwood. I always hear people talk about Torchwood anytime anybody brings up Doctor Who.
Torchwood is good. It doesn't end the greatest. Like one of the miniseries they did. Which one was it? It was kind of dumb.
Miracle Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's depressing too. It's not a cheery show at all.
But yeah, they had two specials. There was Children of Earth, where they kidnapped all the kids, and something happened. Can't remember what.
Right.
But they stopped that. And Miracle Day was where everyone on Earth was immortal apart from Jack, because Jack is immortal because of
right. Yeah, that one wasn't very good.
Because Rose looked into the heart of the TARDIS and then revived him.
Oh,
so he's immortal, and he becomes the face of Bo.
And is Jack John Barrowman?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love John Barrowman, but I don't know if he's in very many happy TV shows or anything like that.
No, last TV show I saw him in was Arrow.
Yeah. Oh, Malcolm.
He played Malcolm Merlin. Yeah.
Torchwood Children of Earth is one of the best things ever filmed.
Yeah, that's good. It was a mini-series, right? I think, or just a movie.
Yeah, I can't remember what happened in Children of Earth. I might have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
I remember Yanto died and I cried. That's about it.
That one stuck out right there.
Yeah.
Well, Disney is doing all kinds of crazy things with BBC. They're also doing all kinds of crazy things with Hawaii. I don't know. I tried to rhyme that. I don't know if either one of y'all caught the Lilo and Stitch remake just yet.
I mean, I've seen the original one, but
how do you like the original one? Is I guess a very.
I like it. I think I like the Stitch character. How he's kind of crazy and bratty and fun.
Did you ever watch the original, huh, Matt?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I used to like it when I was a kid. That's why I was excited about the live action, because the trailer looks shot. I said this in a voice note to you. Like it looks shot for shot. Like it doesn't look like reimagining. It's like they've just made the same movie live action, which I like the idea of.
I wish that would have happened. It is more of a reimagining. The third act is different.
Okay.
But it is still like the same tone, the same vein. It feels very much the same. The two big differences are, and I don't like the difference that we don't have Gantu, the big like shark-looking guy, the manta ray looking guy that was trying to chase everybody down. He's not here this time.
Oh, okay. That's nice about that.
So the villain is more Jumba still. When instead of fun, zany, like scientist guy, he is still that to a degree, but he's a little more serious and he wants to he's really, okay, I got to get Stitch back. I'm going to get Stitch back, But it still works out in the same way. I don't love that change, but it makes sense in what they're going for, I guess.
What was I imagining this, or was there a Lilo and Stitch TV show?
Yes, there was.
And the movie, I mean, it might be one of the best things ever that Disney has ever made, of course. But the freaking TV show was my childhood before the Star Wars: The Clone Wars show existed. And that is why I've become a sci-fi fan. It started with Lilo and Stitch, kept going with Star Wars.
He was experiment, I want to say 626. Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
And then
there's like little bits of
show,
information in there.
This might be what you remember from the TV show, because I don't know if they're going to continue on with everything. They could. It might be too much money. I don't know what they're going to do with it. But in the TV show, you get to meet Experiment 625 pretty quickly, and that's the guy that's yellow, has all the same powers as Stitch essentially, but doesn't like to use them, and instead makes sandwiches all the time, and is always asking if you'd rather like a ham or a tuna sandwich. And it's great. It's great. I'm so excited for this to be in live action, but I don't know if they will.
If they make it a TV series, I don't know.
There have been several Lilo and Stitch things. If you go to Disney Plus, like 6 of them. Yeah, it starts with, because before the TV show starts, you have Lilo and Stitch the movie, of course.
Right.
Then you have Stitch Gets a Glitch. Then you have the Lilo and Stitch series. Then I think Lilo and Stitch 2. And then I believe you get Stitch Gets a Glitch. No, I already said Stitch Gets a Glitch. No, Leroy and Stitch is the final thing. And then I think they rebooted it for like a little Japanese show, like in a smaller version for a couple seasons at some point.
I always knew of the movie, and I must have known about the TV show to remember it. But I didn't know there was a second movie until yesterday. I was scrolling through Disney Plus, and obviously because this has come out, they've got like behind the scenes stuff and promos and whatever. And then Lilo and Stitch 2 was just there, and I'm like, when did that come out?
I think it was a straight to video thing, wasn't it? Or straight to Disney Channel thing or something in the day.
That'll be why.
Lilo and Stitch was too. I don't think Lilo and Stitch ever got a theatrical run. I might be totally.
The first movie, no, it was a theatrical release. The first one, yeah.
Okay. I was a little baby. I had no idea.
I was not.
It still just brings a good smile to your heart. You know, it brings a good smile to the soul. It still achieves its goal and still like the original films. You know,
what the hell did I just click?
Matt wants you to join StreamYard, y'all.
No, there's just a little button with a dollar sign, and I just clicked it, and it's just sent a message. Don't click that link. I don't know what it does.
Go to the one in the description and do the $20 off.
Yeah, do that.
But no, it was really good. It's still really sweet. The other thing that kind of I won't get into spoiler territory by any means. I obviously Jumba does take some of the. He doesn't really become truly evil. But there are about 2 or 3 instances where you're like, all right, no, he's the villain compared to like the fun, kooky version of what was before. They just kind of lean into a little bit of the seriousness of it, which works for Zach Galifianakis. Zach Galifianakis, I did not like in this movie at all. I wish that it was literally anybody besides Zach Galifianakis, and it hurts my soul saying that because I love my boy Zach Galifianakis. He's great. He's hilarious. Give me the Hangover.
Can you show me a picture?
Hangover 1, Hangover 2, The Campaign.
The long hair guy.
Yeah, the really silly guy.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yep.
This one right here.
Yep. Yeah.
So he's Jumba. And also, I don't like that they, instead of, making Jumba and Pleakley aliens that are doing fun little disguises the entire time, they do make them human. They make that make sense and make it okay, like beyond serviceable. They add a couple actually pretty funny jokes in there to make it work. And that's cool and all. The concept art of them actually trying to do the funny, like, disguises as this big giant alien and this little alien with 3 or 4 legs walking around that it just would have been more fun. It would have been. It's a kids movie. Lean into it, especially if Zach Galifianakis is not going to smile once the entire freaking movie. As a human being or as Jumba.
Do you see him as himself?
He's completely himself.
Okay.
It's not even the fun version of himself that you get between two ferns. It's just Zach Galifianakis just on set, just getting paid. And you can feel how much he doesn't want to be there.
Right.
Everybody else in the movie is having the best time ever. Zach was forced to play the straight man while Billy Magnuson was a comic part of that duo. No, Jumba is not the straight man in any scenario. He's like trying to be, but also he's the silly, crazy, zany Russian scientist in the background, whatever. And there was no little fun Russian accent or anything like that. No, even like I get not wanting to do necessarily a Russian accent right now, but like add something in there. I don't want to just hear Zach Galifianakis be Zach Galifianakis for 2 hours when Billy
the Ukrainian accent. It's fine. It's very similar.
The what?
Do a Ukrainian accent. It's very similar.
Yeah, so same thing, different day in a lot of ways. Like it'd be good. It would be really good. I don't know. At least that's what Double Toast said in the review. Yeah, I would disagree with that. Where he was not. He tried to make it a straight man character where that's not what the character was. I don't know if he even watched the original freaking movie. This was very much. Oh, I have kids and they want me to do a movie, and not. You know what? This movie is going to be a really good one that's going to stand the test of time. It might be really good for my career as well, but hey, my kids are going to love this, and I'm going to really put all like effort I can into it. It was more like, yeah, I've probably got kids now, so I feel like I got to do a movie for some kids. Right. And that was Zach Galifianakis' tone in there, which sucks because I love the dude as an actor.
So question, right? There have been quite a lot of Disney remakes, and most of them are shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would you rate this one?
I was in the last couple of days. I've been saying it's the best one alongside the Jungle Book because I think the Jungle Book's really the only good one. Maybe outside of like Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast. I think those are pretty good as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jungle Book's really good. I like it.
I think Jungle Book's the best. I think that's.
I did enjoy Beauty and the Beast, but only because it was Emma Watson.
Yeah, I don't really rank Cinderella and Beauty. They're in the top, I think, 4 or 5 probably best Disney remakes, but that's just because those movies are nothing's easy to remake. But if you're gonna remake something, come on, like literally, you made Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella the way you did, and we got the Snow White that we just did. Anyway,
yeah.
Anyway,
I've not watched it. I'm refusing to watch it.
Yeah,
Snow White is one of my favorite classic Disney movies. I'm not watching the remake.
Right.
Nah, it's not worth it. This would be number 2. I would put Jungle Book and then this.
Okay.
I've been coming out of the theater and saying like this is I think right there with Jungle Book for me. The more I think about it, Zach Galifianakis alone makes me not want to say that, which does hurt me. Because I love Zach Galifianakis as an actor. Again, like he's hilarious. He's great. But if you don't want to be where you are, that's visible on camera, like, and the rest of the film is just, it's Lilo and Stitch. It's got that just love and that heart just imbued in every inch of everything that's there until you see Zach Galifianakis. And that part, it's just kind of made me hang my hat on that just a little bit, So number 2, I'd still rate it much better than a lot of these other remakes and stuff, but it's number 2 for me.
It's the first remake that I saw the trailer of and instantly was like, yeah, I want to see that. Because we saw the trailer for it when we went to go and see the Minecraft movie. So during the previews, and my kids have never seen Lilo and Stitch. Obviously, me and my missus have because it was when we were younger. But it was just from the trailer alone, I was like, "That looks good." That looks very good. So I'm planning on going or getting it in some way. When's it coming on streaming? How long after it being in theaters does it go to streaming? Because I've got Disney Plus. I might just wait.
That's a good question.
I think it depends on how. Yeah.
Well, with the way CinemaCon was talking about it, because usually it does depend. But the way CinemaCon was this past summer, or whenever they were doing it, not summer, I guess, was it April? So recently, March or April when they did it. Every studio, including Disney, was very big on saying, hey, or I guess it was the theaters and the theater owners themselves. But the studios were agreeing because they make their money when the movies are in theaters themselves. So they're trying to extend that theatrical window. I would expect it to be there at least 45 days. So at least a month and a half. After that, because Disney expects this thing to make some cash, I wouldn't not think 60 days.
I've always thought theatre runs have always been a bit short. Like things will go into the cinema and then it's just gone, and then you've got to wait for the DVD / streaming release or whatever.
Right.
But I don't know. I've always I swear when I was younger it was longer, 2 months maybe.
Well, because for the longest time until streaming happened, you have your movie out. And then you have it out because there's no streaming or anything. There's no rush to get it onto people's things. So they stay in the theaters for where it was before COVID happened. It pushed down to a 45-day window. Before that, it was usually a 60 to 75-day, sometimes 90-day window. So you have that theater there. You have a movie in a theater for 3 months, which is like, okay, this is good. That first month is like the first couple weeks and the month. Then your word of mouth keeps going. And then the stragglers will kind of see it.
Because when I was younger, with Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny, that was definitely in cinemas for a long time. I wasn't going to go see it, and then some people had seen it and told me it was good, so then I went to see it.
Yeah.
Whereas now, now, someone will go to see something in the cinema. And they might say, "Oh, it's good," but then it's gone. Like it's not even playing anymore.
They know it's going to be on streaming so quickly. What we were just talking about, like after it's out of theaters for that maybe up to 6 months, like Mark was saying there, then that gave that the I guess the film studio and whoever made the film itself time to get the DVDs ready, to get the Blu-rays ready, and do all that kind of stuff. At that point, you had a second life for everything. By doing all the DVD sales, doing all that kind of stuff. And that second life is still there in streaming. But it should go back to the way streaming was 8 years ago, realistically, where we might not have a bunch of DVDs and VCRs to go buy and pop in now, but there's VOD, video on demand, where the second it's out of theaters, you don't have to really think about it. Yeah, it was VHS back then. You don't have to take it out. You don't have to have that waiting period, I guess, before you get that DVD or the Blu-ray. You immediately get the VOD / Blu-ray / DVD. That all kind of correlates at the same time, and then let that have its own second life. You know, if the studios and theaters allowed that to have a second life, we have a whole extra. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes. Thank you. Perfect example of all this. And much more eloquently said than I can ever do. Not naming a few decades of experience there on me. But yeah, like if it had a second life within the DVD / VOD sales at this point into the third life for streaming, then by the time it hits streaming, you have all of this extra word of mouth, and there's actual data that nobody wants to acknowledge. Netflix. That makes a lot more money to it makes a lot more sense and gives you a lot more money in the long term to actually put the theatrical run out there for a longer time, then your DVD / VOD run, and then have it go on streaming. Because that's how Netflix and a lot of these other things operated 7 or 8 years ago, especially before COVID and before it was like, put it on my screen as fast as possible. Please. You know, and it was just like, all right, 10 days in movie theaters. Actually, not even that. We're going to drop it on VOD the same day you got it in a movie theater. It's just like,
That was a bit too much.
It's.
How do you make any money with it? I mean, I guess you're just assuming that people will buy it, and
well, what's the conversation we've been having the last couple of years? I mean, obviously, the big budget movie isn't necessarily viable anymore, and part of that's because of all this. It's essentially and effectively in the view of like the wider audience. Obviously, we love our stuff, and we're here to like consume the media and such. But for the widest audience possible, your average Joes, you know, the film industry, outside of a Top Gun or an Avatar or some Marvel movie coming out, it's effectively next to non-existent. You just got it on your phone and have a streaming service. And people don't think about all the intricacies like we like to talk about, you know, like, and why would they? You know? There's my soapbox. It's just a lot. I don't know exactly the right way to fix it, but I think, like Matt Damon said on that Hot Ones episode, is revitalizing the multiple steps that you take before you get to an actual streaming service would be great. And also, I think that would help us maybe get out of that fast-paced, hey, easy way to say it, freaking TikTok brain, and just want that dopamine hit all the time. It would at least let audiences and the kids growing up with all this fast-paced dopamine, serotonin everywhere, they would at least say, hey, in the good stuff, in the good media that you're consuming, not the fast-paced BS or whatever, you know, not just BS, but fast-paced all this stuff, have some patience. And because think about it, in a generation from now, how much patience is going to be left in the human species?
None.
I think they should go back to the thing. I don't like about streaming now. It's more so with series, because I'm not a massive movie guy, but I'm big on series. That they drop the series in its entirety, and you can just binge it.
Yeah.
I do like to binge a series. Like, I would happily sit there and watch, like I do it with Stargate. I've got it on Jellyfin. I'll sit there and watch like 5 or 6 episodes in a row.
Right.
But if it's something new, it should be weekly. Because, and the reason I think it should be is because if it's a really good episode, you're going to talk about it, and then someone who hasn't seen it is then going to go, oh, that sounds good, I'm going to watch it. They're going to catch up, and then they're going to watch next week's episodes, and then they're going to go, oh, and they're going to talk about it. And it's, again, word of mouth, like you were saying.
I think we've kind of figured out that people like the weekly rather than the dump.
Well, last year, literally what you were saying, I was behind on Foundation in the latest season of Foundation, and then we kept talking about it week to week, and I was like, I gotta do it, and then finally caught back up, and it was the best thing ever for the next like 5 weeks after I caught back up, you know. But it does whenever it's something new that you just after a season's been out for a freaking month, I'll binge it like nobody's business, you know, or something like that. But let it breathe. Let people digest what's going on, you know.
It used to be the best thing with the Flash. Okay.
I lost you for a second.
That was a very good freeze frame.
Yeah.
In the middle of conversation, Matt, you just had to start going. Did you do
my missus walks in. I'm going to have to jump off in a sec.
Me or my internet?
With the Flash, every week, I'd be hyped for the next episode because I'm waiting. I had to wait. Like, I couldn't just watch it there and then. As much as I probably wanted to get the answers, it was better to have waited.
Yeah, you get to chew on it and think about it, and I think a lot of details can get missed when you're like doing back to back to back of a brand new show.
Yeah,
in a big way, because you just get excited about it. And you're like, going on. Yeah, where if you have that week,
I'm gonna have to go.
You stayed so much longer than you were expecting to. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
It was nice talking to you all. Goodbye.
All the blue sci-fi Disney's bringing us. It's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
See you, Sausage.
Yep.
But yeah, the water cooler discussion is kind of going on in here. Also, SciTrek will have these soon. I'm kidding. Severance got a lot of water cooler attention, and I know Peter's has been saying that he hasn't liked it. But outside of Game of Thrones, even I think Severance has been getting more water cooler talk than even like a House of the Dragon or Last of Us or anything like that would.
Right.
Yeah. Daredevil even. I think Severance has got more talk than Daredevil and stuff like that. And howdy, Donnie.
Yeah, I have to watch it.
But yeah, I think those week by week would allow water cooler talking to come back a little bit more. Where the biggest heavy hitters of quote unquote water cooler talk outside of Game of Thrones, or I guess Severance in recent memory, have been Tiger King or Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad, or Squid Game, whatever it is.
Yeah, I remember Squid Game. Like, I forgot about Tiger King. I mean, I watched that. That was so crazy, and it was like the perfect thing that hit at the perfect time.
Like,
I love
it. But I don't remember anything about it. Like, I remember just little teeny bits about it, and I think part of that is, and I was late to the craze, I think, on both of those things. But they were, I think, would have done so much better week by week. I think it would have captured the same craze, and you've actually would have had time to sit with the crazy or sit with the Squid Games and stuff. Because I remember a whole bunch about Squid Games outside of like specific bits.
Right. When you do week by week, then everybody can kind of keep up on it. You know what I mean? Because when you drop it all at once, there's people that have seen one episode or two episodes or the whole thing, or you know what I mean? Like when you do the week by week, everybody's kind of on the same page. I think it makes it easier to talk about it.
Yeah. You take in the information at the same rate, which is nice.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we all process it differently, but that's why we have the conversations, and we're like, oh, so you got that, and I got that. Well, what about, what was the writer thinking, you know? And you try to kind of figure all that kind of stuff out, and that it makes it fun. Where, you know what, the MCU is a pretty good example of it. A lot of things nowadays, Star Wars and Star Trek, and even Stargate to a degree, all of these big franchises, all these big old things, it feels more like homework that you have to do before you get to what you actually want to watch half the time. And I think a lot of that is the just quickness of it all, the drop instead of like, okay, let's actually digest this media. I mean, Marvel's good about doing it. It's just there's so many things that they have coming out that they need to, like, I guess they've already said they're minimizing the amount of projects they're doing, but even with the week by week, they have it like your whole year is Marvel. Like the second you're done with a Marvel TV show, you do have your Star Wars TV show, then this. And thankfully they've kind of like given us a little bit of room to breathe, especially this year starting, but Lordy.
There's just so much, like, you know, I think the dialing back, I think, is good. There's just way too many things. There's just no way to watch it all. You know what I mean? Because we're kind of, I try to watch things, and it always seems like everybody's always watching the thing I'm not. So I'm trying to stay, you know, where I'm watching what everybody's watching, you know? And it's like just having the time to do it. Anyway.
It's insane. Like we almost have to, like, I was talking, my roommate and a buddy of ours were over the other day, or I guess we were just hanging out, whatever. And we were talking about Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And Breaking Bad is one of the weird shows that, or the shows I digested weirdly, I guess. My mom and I sat down because we were big AMC people, because we would watch The Walking Dead every freaking week, you know, since episode 1 until they took Carl out, and we were like, we're out, you know. But Breaking Bad had like its final season marathon at one point, and we watched the entire thing, binged the entire thing on that like
Right.
marathon for the 2 days, you know, whatever AMC
Right.
was doing before it drops the finale. We
Yeah.
watched like the last few episodes of season 4. It spurred her to watch the entire show. I think it was right before I went off to college, so I still have never seen season 3 or like the majority of season 4 in Breaking Bad.
Right.
So it is the only show that I've ever watched like that, and it just still hurts my head. And I'm like, okay, but if I go do it now, I have to go back to Better Call Saul and do the whole thing. Yeah, my roommate was saying that yesterday. I was like, I don't know if I can believe you. Like, what?
Yeah. I can see that. I think I haven't watched all of Better Call Saul. I did like it, what I've watched. I think I just got off track of when it came out again, and I just never got caught up and just moved on to other things or whatever. But it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just intrigued to see how that goes. But literally, just talking about it, I was like, that's what, 6 seasons of Better Call Saul, something like this. There 5 or 6 seasons of Better Call Saul. There's
Like that.
and you know my chronological self. I'm gonna have to just make sure I watch everything and watch it in order. There's actually a really bad, or it's supposed to be pretty bad, Jimmy McGill prequel little mini series that is an animated like slapstick Saturday cartoon comedy style that's supposed to not feel anything like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul at all, but it exists. So I feel like once I get there, I have to start with that, then Better Call Saul, then Breaking Bad, then I'll watch El Camino. But just because that's so much, I feel like I literally said, I think I had to start a podcast or something to actually make myself sit down and do that. You know, it's just like, but yeah, that's not sci-fi series, so we'd have to do something, you know, like, but like, you know, just that thought process of like, there's just so many different things to watch, and it's hard to catch up on certain things.
I mean, I would love to watch Breaking Bad again. I loved that show, and that was one of those shows everybody was watching too. And Bryan Cranston is just so good.
So good. I have not seen El Camino, but I did see Bryan Cranston in the finale for the studio this past week, which was so damn good. So good, hilarious, and so damn good. But yeah, too many shows, not enough time. Yeah,
that's true.
And also, I don't know. I don't want to get into all the crazy technology that might be coming up. My brain went to, I can't wait till we get Neuralink or whatever it's called, and you can just download TV shows. But at the same time, if you download a TV show in the back of your head, did you actually watch it? Did you experience the emotions as it? I don't know.
Right.
The answer to that, I don't know if any of us do yet either. But
and how would that work? Like all of a sudden, just how does the knowledge just? I mean, doesn't your brain have to form like pathways or something to like as memories or something? Like instantly.
When it's downloaded, is it downloaded or does it download like the initial pathway that then you start? Would it act like an actual memory or is it just there?
Right. And then what if somebody hacks into it and plants? You know, I mean, there's been, I think, several sci-fi stories, movies, shows that have explored that. But if, you know, and then what? You know, and then okay, so what if somebody feeds you a lie? Like, can someone feed you a memory that's false and make you believe it's true? Like just a fact about something, you know, like as a way for like government control or a dictatorship or something, could feed things into people's brains and make them believe a certain thing or whatever. Anyway.
No, it's good thought and terrifying thought. And then I couldn't help but laugh because David said, more importantly, does it buffer? Hopefully not. If you got Starlink, you're all good. You got to link the links, I get. Different companies, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be so like willing to do. I mean, I could see where it could be really a good thing for people that have
disabilities,
issues with their brain, or you have a brain tumor and somehow that can like whatever, you know, but it probably give you brain tumors.
That's a good point too. Is like what is having a microwave kind of always not like a full microwave, but it's still like the microwaves are going through you. Like the propaganda with Neuralink is gonna feel so good.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Could there be like some sort of like drug effect you could give people?
Why not? The second you have it there, just say, hey, I feel really bad. Let me, instead of going all the way to TikTok, just say serotonin.
Exactly.
Dopamine.
And it's like, that just doesn't seem like that's going to end well.
No. And it is crazy because it's like, you want to be, you want to wait till that type of technology is sound and well studied and all these different things.
Yeah.
But also, how much of a disservice are you doing to yourself, your possible businesses, maybe even like keeping up with like your family and the minute task of day to day when everybody else around you already has one? Would it be just as much a disservice to not be one of the first people to almost try to get one?
Right. Are you going to be able to distinguish reality from something that's just put in your brain?
Yeah. Or is it going to be also, we could go into like Ready Player One where, hey, you don't even need a big old visor anymore. You just stand back and just go in there. Or it's like Pokemon Go. Yeah, you could totally have Pokemon Go aspect of it too, where it's just like you're in the real world and now you see like, oh, the street sign also has this little detail under it or something like that.
Right.
Because they connect to your eyeballs? Like what? I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
your optical nerve, or do we all wear, high-tech contact lenses or something? Or, you get, now you can do the lens replacements in your eye. Maybe you get some like tech lens replacement thing.
Maybe that one doesn't. But I don't know if that makes me squeal like that, but that just made me think of these, like, it's a freaking, I guess, trend to some degree. I saw it, I think, on Instagram a little bit ago. People are getting eyeball tattoos.
Oh, yeah, I don't.
Negatory Ghost Rider on that one. No.
You want to have, like, black eyes or whatever, but anyway, that's...
Yeah. It's like, it looks really cool for, like, a movie or something, but they got contacts for that. I don't want to look like a lizard man walking around or something like.
I just don't. Anyway, it just feels like you're being different to be different.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I get tattoos. I got a couple myself. Like it's an expression. Like tattooing your eyeballs.
I'm getting another tattoo actually.
I'm thinking about getting one. I think it'll be later this year though. What are you thinking?
I really like ravens a lot, and I kind of jokingly call them nevermores for, I think you get the reason why. So I'm thinking about getting on my forearm here like a raven, like in black, just like black and white grayscale, whatever. Yeah, a raven on my forearm here. Yeah, I have like a phoenix on my back. It's like covers my whole back. That's done like Japanese style. It's really cool. Yeah.
No way. Oh, that's really cool. Well, I like the birds. I'm a fan of the bird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. I'm going for the same spot, but I'm just going for a solar system. I've been waiting. I want the whole like Milky Way.
Have it like the planets in a line.
Well, I want the planets, but I want it to be like, like the way the planets actually look, like from like a telescope photo kind of deal. And then I'd like the little asteroid belt or two in there. I'd like all the moons to also be there. I want it to look as photorealistic as possible without like doing something too crazy,
Right.
But yeah, Adam Savage's ruler tattoo is the only one I would get. Oh, I love that. The you see, like,
I know exactly what you're talking about. He has it on his forearm. Yeah, he had a ruler. Yeah, I watched his. Well, I was a huge MythBusters fan when that was on. I watched like I think every episode of MythBusters, and I catch his YouTube channel, and his brain is like just interesting. It's just really cool the way his brain works, and just how it's just fun to watch his brain work.
It's not that, and then whenever you get to see him meet somebody that he's like excited to actually meet, it's like the most joyous interaction ever. It's he's got ADHD, but this dude uses it as a superpower. Teach me, Mr. Savage. Because besides that freaking ruler, I think the best thing ever I've seen tattoo wise that just seems like super handy is somebody got like a cup, a teaspoon, or whatever, like inside their hand, and they just do that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
that tattoo would hurt. Oh, the palm of your hand, that would hurt a lot. Mm-hmm.
That, and think about how often you have to get that redone too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I always thought it would be funny if someone got like a to-do list, like on on their hand or something like that, just to write in.
Yeah.
No, what was Adam Savage in an episode of The Expanse?
I don't remember. Was he? Now I'm gonna have to look that up.
We're googling this right now.
Yeah.
Adam Savage Expanse.
Yeah. Does he look like himself in it, or is it?
Yeah, I feel like I vaguely recognize him. Was he just a guy in a chair for a moment?
One-off like bit part in one episode or something?
Oh, he would have had to have been. But
yeah.
Like it also looks like familiar to a degree. You know, maybe it's just because it's his face, but
right. I think without the glasses, I wouldn't. I think I probably wouldn't. I probably didn't recognize him without his glasses.
Like that's totally like in camera, you know. Like there's no way.
Yeah.
None of us didn't see it, but like, yeah, just such an easy just.
Now I'll have to like watch it. I've been thinking. I know The Expanse is so good. I want to watch it.
That's another one. Like, so not only that, I have all the novels. I was just telling my roommate about The Expanse the other day. He was like, "It's like sci-fi Game of Thrones." I was like, "No."
More political.
Wise, yes. Like,
yeah.
Oh, please read my messages, please. For All Mankind, can anyone tell when it's out? Google. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And I wish
went on For All Mankind because I got bored.
Oh, you didn't.
I really tried to push through, and I'm someone that I can appreciate a slow burn building to something, and I kept trying, and it's just not grabbing me, so I gave up.
Even in a Joel Kinnaman series.
I know. Well, he's good in it, but it's just
everybody else is boring.
I loved him since I watched The Killing. Is that what it was?
Oh, yeah. On AMC.
Great in that too. Yeah.
What's that actress's name? I don't know if she's.
The actress that was with him. Yeah. They were partners or whatever. But I don't remember what her name was.
Me either. I don't know if I've ever seen her in another project, honestly. But she was so good in that show. I forgot about that show.
Yeah.
Because that came out at the same time about Lee Pace and what's her name from the Terminator Dark Fate movie? Something McKenzie, I think, or McKenzie something. They did that Halt and Catch Fire show, which only lasted a couple seasons, around the same as The Killing and all that. And the one thing I didn't watch back then that I'm still mad at myself that I never watched was Hell on Wheels. Old Anson Mount.
That.
Thank you, Monk.
Yes. Anson Mount in that is awesome. It's good. I mean, the earlier seasons I think are better than later, like a lot of shows, but that's a good show. I loved that show.
Scott,
and it has, Todd is in it. Todd is in Hell on Wheels also.
Oh yeah, Christopher Heyerdahl, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We've looked it up so many times. I'm like desperate to remember it. I'm like Heyerdahl. I got Christopher, but the Heyerdahl.
Yeah.
Honestly, he needs to play like a sci-fi character named Heyerdahl. It'd be pretty cool. Hell on Wheels is great.
Yeah, it is. It really is a good show.
Still getting it together, but good so far. Still got boxes all around here, but got a little setup right here. We're getting there, one step at a time. Very happy. Oh, For All Mankind. Okay. I still really want to watch it. I'm into the slow burn and stuff like that, but we'll see. I'm shocked.
Yeah, Chief O'Brien is in Hell on Wheels, but you don't know. You haven't watched Star Trek, so you don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Have you watched the new Murderbot?
Yes.
How was it? I haven't had a chance to watch it just yet because we've been trying to watch it like as a household,
Right.
you know.
Right. It's good. The pacing's kind of weird. Like it seems like the style of the show is to kind of like something happens, end it sort of on like a cliffhanger that takes you to the next episode. I'm getting the feeling like that's how the show's gonna be. So I still really like it. It's just the pacing seems there's something a little off with the pacing. I'm not sure if I can put my finger on exactly what it is. It doesn't make it a bad show, but it just, I don't know, I think I'm starting to feel like, I don't know if the half-hour episodes is a good idea. It feels like, doing like an hour or 45-minute or whatever would be better. But
I'm with you. Like, even with what we have in the show within the first 2 episodes, I feel like if they expanded on certain parts, it would have made more sense pacing wise. That's the one thing even like my roommates and I were talking about. Like, it just if it was a little faster paced, that live action Rick and Morty comparison would feel I think a little bit more apt. Because it is just it's very deliberate in where it's at.
Right.
I don't know how long each novella actually was. Part of me wants to think like, are these a chapter within a novella? And a novella is obviously
right. It feels kind of like maybe that's what they might be going for. I don't know. I was thinking like because it's short books, so they're doing short episodes to kind of match that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like I'll watch every episode that comes out every week because I like it, but it feels like I think when it's over, I'm going to sit there and like binge it, and maybe it'll flow better if you binge it,
Yeah. I still don't know if I want the whole season out right now because then I don't think I'd actually remember. Right. I feel like it'd be a fun show to binge, and it will be. But it's for millennial attention span. But
that's true.
But if they drop the whole season, I don't think I'd remember it in a month.
Right. So, I mean, I like how they've done it because you have to think about each episode. But as far as just like the flow of it goes, I think if you can watch
it just needs a little
right after the other, because it's kind of like you're kind of left hanging and you're like, oh, I mean, you want more, which I suppose is a good thing, leave them wanting more, whatever. But anyway,
I think for the first 2 episodes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It makes you want to go back.
Yeah. It's the first show, that I'm like, I kind of want to go back and watch it again. Like even right now before the whole series is out,
Yeah. Even last week, whenever I had to watch the episode myself real quick, the second episode, because we all watched it, I guess, as a household, the first episode, and the second episode, I woke up early and watched it before we streamed. Should have done that today, realistically. But my alarm did not go off today, which freaked me out. I thought it was like 11. I thought it was right now, about 2 hours ago, and was like, oh God, I just missed the stream. What's going on? But we managed. It's the pacing is the issue, and I don't know how to feel about it because of the pacing. Because after as a household coming on here and all of us talking about it, it's still really exciting and fun to talk about the little bits that are going. Ooh, it does almost feel like one of those old YouTube Red or YouTube Premium shows in a lot of ways. Oh, good call, Scott.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of intentional. That was like to do short episodes was definitely like a choice they made rather than like a budgetary thing or something.
Yeah, it's Apple TV. They can do what they feel. Yeah. Huh. Uh-oh.
Anyway, I gotta go in a few minutes here. So.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and just do what we watched this week? Have you finished Andor yet? We've got a couple questions about that.
Oh yes, maybe we should talk about that next week.
Okay, I will finish it.
And actually, we started watching Rogue. Because we're like, okay, now that we watched that, we got to watch Rogue One again. So we started watching Rogue One last night. Probably finished watching it today. But and I watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail yesterday. haven't watched that in a while.
Always.
And then, of course, well, I watched Murderbot, and what else have I watched? Oh, I'm just I'm keep watching Continuum, the sci-fi series from 10, 12 years ago or whatever it was. My husband put a Blu-ray player out in my gym, so now I can watch Stargate. Since you have to subscribe to MGM Plus, I'm like, I'm not signing up for another streaming service when I have the DVDs. So he put a Blu-ray player so I can watch that while I'm I can watch Star Trek Stargate while I'm working out. So
that's good.
I need to do another watch. It's time to do like another watch through of Stargate. So I can do it. Yeah.
I'm so glad I play the card games to have Stargate on in the background all the time, because that's just my excuse to be like, hey, I know everybody's here, but y'all are paying attention to this. I'm going to put Stargate on too. So like, so I can kind of look back up a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And it's perfect background noise for everybody else, but it does, just with us talking about it. I mean, there's so like, you know, we talked about 17 seasons, a movie, a couple extra movies on top of that, a couple other smaller little shows on top of that. It's a lot to remember, especially when we're remembering all these other crazy franchises and everything else too.
We're doing an Outpost Wednesday, right? What we were doing
SGU, right? The
minor characters, that's right.
Minor characters, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Then maybe after that we could do favorite scenes or whatever for each series.
Oh, yeah.
If we can remember. At least for SG1. I don't know about the other one.
Oh, I already know the SG1 one. We talked about it.
Yeah, we hit on that already. Anyway. Yeah. And there's anyway, there's business stuff we need to talk about. Like tomorrow is a holiday. Are we doing, our thing? Anyway.
Oh, that's a great point. It's Memorial Day. Hey, and while we have a chat here, especially David, our Patreon, our patron, I was trying to come up with a good nickname, patron extraordinaire or something. Should we do one tomorrow? Are you available for tomorrow? Would you want to, or?
Yeah, I can. I mean, we'll have to keep it kind of tight, but we could do it. Yeah,
that'd be fun. We can reconvene in the morning and put something on Patreon or not. So if y'all are down to watch the Farscape, y'all know where to go. Patreon, and we'll do the Farscape Treon podcast, of course. He's available. Attaway. And Wednesday, Stargate Outpost. If y'all missed 2 weeks ago, Stargate Outpost, we did SG1's best supporting characters, not like minor characters. Like supporting were the ones that we stuck on. So that way, it's not like, as much as we all love Walter, he's in every episode of Stargate. So he is technically like a main cast member. Not like a main cast, excuse me, but paid as an actual regular on the show is the best way to say that, I guess. Where we're looking for the people that aren't there every single week. They might be there 6 or 8 times a season, like a Braytac or Colin Cunningham, Paul Davis, excuse me. So on and so forth, somewhere in that vein. And we're going to do the same thing for SGA and SGU this Wednesday. And Friday is looking like, I think because we did the Radical Wasteland this past Friday, we're either going to do it again this Friday or wait till next Friday, just depending on when we can get this interview with the people that run the which would be really good. Also, we don't have a date set for it yet, but I'll go ahead and just put the feelers out in the world. Josh Patton, the old comic book CBR senior writer over there, has written himself a cool new book. And this coming week, Jay will be talking about the Star Trek aspect of that book at some point. And they're going to have a little one-on-one interview, which will be fun. We're going to do a little live stream for that. And then April 5th is looking like the day that it will work out. Not April 5th, sorry. I keep saying April 5th. I keep going back a month instead of forward a month. Yeah, okay. So if it's not this Friday, we'll do next Friday for sure. We're just waiting really on a response, and it's not looking like this one, but I'm just putting out there just in case it is. But yeah, so this week with Josh Patton, we'll have a fun talk there. I keep saying April, June 5th. June 5th. Greg will actually have another conversation with Josh detailing just modern Trek, how it compares to old Trek. Some of the conversations about like, hey, the same thought process that people have been on with Discovery, Strange New Worlds, a lot of these newer shows that aren't necessarily like people's woo. He's saying Enterprise and Voyager had a similar response when they came out. And over time, people have kind of fallen in line or fallen in love to a degree with them. And he's a little bit more, I guess, on the Kurtzman Trek side of things. So that'll be interesting to have, that case fought for, but in a respectful, fun way. But also, the book he wrote, half of it is about Star Wars. So once I'm done moved in over here and all this craziness is settled and we have a good podcast with Jay and Josh, and then following Greg and Josh, we'll try to finish it up that third week with the Star Wars podcast and talk about the Star Wars half of the book that he wrote. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Sounds cool. Yep.
Not controversial at all, but Voyager is Oliver's favorite. Ooh. Also, I mentioned it like super briefly. Oliver sent a little proof of concept to us yesterday. If it's okay, Oliver, can I send it over to like our SciTrek group chat? Because it's a little 3-minute short, a proof of concept for a short. But damn, it looks really good. It looks really, really good. And he did it on budget, a good budget too. He said, "Oh, I did it this way," and I opened it. I was like, "Oh no, we're gonna see." It looks. I'm sure it's gonna look good. And then I saw it, was like, that looks really good. But yeah, I guess. Did you watch anything else before this week before we start moving forward?
Not that I can think of. I think I covered it all.
Cool. Yeah, I think for me was Lilo and Stitch, of course. Murderbot, not the newest episode, but the other two. Finished Parks and Rec last week. I don't think we started anything new. But I have watched 2 Mission Impossible movies. I bought a ticket for Mission Impossible the other night. Didn't end up making it because it was a 3-hour movie at 10 o'clock. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be awake for that one.
I want to see it. Maybe tomorrow my husband and I will be able to catch a matinee or something. I'll have to ask him, see if we want to do that. But anyway, I really have to get out of here. So.
All right. We're calling that a day. Y'all have our laundry list.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Which one?
Deep Space Nine. That's my favorite. That's the best one.
Oh, hails, yeah. Favorite Mission Impossible before we go?
Oh God. What was the one before the last one?
Because it was Dead Reckoning, and then was it Fallout or Ghost Protocol?
It was one after Ghost Protocol, I think. The one where they have to go into the swirly water tank to get the info, whatever that is.
Because that's the one with Henry Cavill, right? Where he reloads his freaking arm.
Yeah, I think that one. I like that one. The first one I like a lot too.
Yeah,
I saw like clips of it because I was watching kind of a recap of all the movies, and like, oh my God, like Tom Cruise looks so young in the first one. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah,
such a good John Voight too. I was watching the other day. I was like, John Voight is like 40. That happened? That was a time. I was like, what? It was pretty funny. Just so long as you don't say number 2. What do you mean the best one, right? I'm kidding.
That was the one with anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway. Yeah,
that's the John Woo one. But yeah, we're getting out of here. It's been a lot of fun, y'all. We will see you maybe tomorrow for a little Patreon, Farscapetrion, and Wednesday for Stargate Outpost. So see y'all there. And
see you there.
I was trying to think of something crazy or funny to say. See y'all Wednesday. Bye, y'all.